For some time, I have been proposing that education is an emotional situation that gives us access to the dilemmas of knowledge, authority, and experience. I've suggested that the very thought of education is difficult to think, and that such thinking takes us into what is unaccountable in memories of education. For instance, difficult knowledge, the breakdown of meaning, runaway thoughts, inhibitions and anxieties, and various symptoms that compose and decompose the life of the mind with the life of other minds. To bring these thoughts into today's topic, let me put it 4 ways. Education counts but cannot add. What counts for education opposes learning. Education has difficulty counting what counts, and education counts in ways that we can never imagine. All told, and like the sign on the rear view mirror, education is closer than it appears. This is no simple matter, since the shadow of education is cast upon every one of our concepts that constitute a self. For instance, things like beauty, truth, love, hate, authority, knowledge, normality, pathology, reality, and fantasies of learning. But we also see the droppings of education scatter in the ways we reason over what is right and wrong, good and bad, success and failure, possible and impossible, and how we feel about the worth of language and words, and what we expect from experiences like identity, permission, freedom, and constraint. In my study of Freud and education, I have gone so far as to describe education as an unsolvable problem. Psychoanalytically speaking, education is defined as all types of interference and as the social response to the fact of development. In terms of the conscious actions of education, mostly education is asked to tolerate the frustrations of learning, and when it cannot do this, in the words of Anna Freud, it shoots sparrows with cannonballs. From the beginning of life, the actions of education are impressive, although not in ways we immediately apprehend. To give you a flavor of these concerns and how they may be studied, I'd like to just read from my funded SSHRC application called The Emotional Situation of Teaching and Learning in the University, a Psychoanalytic Exploration. The project assumes that the object of educational research is human learning. This in-depth study of teaching and learning is through the prism of the teacher's emotional life. It analyzes the teacher's psychological challenges in contemporary school and university education, and draws upon novels, films, clinical literature, and educational critiques, along with discussions with professors, teachers, and psychoanalysts. Its purpose is, 1, to picture education as an emotional situation, 2, to consider how pedagogy leans upon the teacher's psychological life, and 3, to use psychoanalysis to deepen understanding of conflicts that compose teaching and learning. Its major goal is to develop a psychology for teacher education, and the research contributes to current discussions on education as a key element of mental life. The new direction develops from humanistic study of the teacher's emotions in 21st century learning. So the study draws upon philosophy, literature, education, and psychoanalysis for a humanities-based approach to understanding the emotional challenges and psychology of teaching, to deepen teacher knowledge of their emotional world as a resource for learning. It develops the method of psychological portraiture drawn from clinical writing and its focus on relationships to understand problems of meaning made from stories of education. The study proposes a reflective methodology for improving teacher education, university teaching, and contemporary pedagogical theory, and is designed to provide new orientations to critical debates on the human's need for education by looking carefully at the desire that creates the social bond and its ties to life and education. So over the last 25 years or so, my research has focused on the education of teachers through questions of what school feels like, what teaching does to teachers, what it means to encounter difficult knowledge and change one's mind, and what all this has to do with the ways people engage new challenges in the world. The current research extends the findings into central psychological dilemma crucial for the new orientations to the study of teaching. And here's the dilemma. When adults imagine education, they return to their own childhood of learning, and their memories remain immature, as if the school in their mind has never changed. Mainstream models of professional education do not consider the teacher's formation as affected by their childhood. The assumption is that this biography affects the ways both mental health and emotional life are imagined and handled. And I think that this approach may help clarify the psychological challenges teachers face and the emotional resources that they may develop. Thank you.